You know, sitting here right now with you is incredible because you were such a big part of my childhood. Growing up, there were movies that I considered movies that awakened my love of cinema. And Back to the Future was obviously a big part of that. I love the third Back to the Future because that hit me at the right time, at the right age.
Yeah.
But I still have tickets for movies that I saw of yours for The Frighteners. And American, yeah. So The Frighteners is one of my favorite movies of yours, Peter Jackson.
Hey, right.
And so because you were such a part of my childhood, I was curious what movies you were seeing at a young age that awakened your sense of being an artist and made you fall in love with movies.
Well, one movie that I remember was a really powerful movie for me. And when people talk about what the future means to people and what it means in their lives, I would say it reminds me of when I was a kid. When I was a kid, we like there was no cable or anything, so you like something would be on once a year, and you'd make sure you watched it. And for me, it was Wizard of Oz. So I'd see the Wizard of Oz every year, and we had black and white TV, so I never saw it, but they got all goofy and color fantastic in the end. I didn't see any of that. I just wanted to be a flying monkey. And now with Marty McFly, I'm a flying monkey forever.
There's another great line in the film where someone tells you it's okay not to be Michael J. Fox sometimes. And
my trainer.
I love that divide between the idea of who Michael Fox is and who Michael J. Fox is. But the story about the J, I've always found this interesting, and I love your memoir, that came from Michael J. Pollard. Yeah. And his J meant John. Did you ever figure out what your J might mean, or did you ever is it just the initial?
Genuine, genius, and my brother, Jesus. It's a cool story because it's funny how things turn out. Like I don't think that Michael Fox would be as good a name. I mean, I just would pack that extra punch that Michael J. Fox did. And I did that when I did the pilot for Family Ties. I ad-libbed the P in Alex P. Keaton because it kind of is a nod to the mojo that I got from the J. So it's just weird how things happen, and the whole name thing. I take a quick story. My grandmother said my first memoir. My grandmother was Irish lady, and she was very, very psychic. She predicted that her two children, two sons who were presumed to be dead in World War II, were actually prisoners of war, and she intuited that, and now so she was thought to be a genius in her family. And she didn't want them to call me Mike because she said, she didn't want to call me Michael. She said to call him Mike, and I don't like Mike, like Michael. So then it turned to my parents call me Michael. And they would call me Mike growing up. And my grandma, and they would worry about me because I was so small. And my grandmother said, don't worry about him. He's going to be one of the most famous people in the world. And we'll know him as Michael. And so that was weird.
The documentary is brilliant. The editing, the cinematography, the score, even those Alan Silvestri needle drops that you had in there with the Family Ties and Back to the Future montage. But there's a line that you say at the beginning of the documentary where you say the trembling was a message from the future. And that gave me, I thought about Marty McFly and a line that you say, which is one of the most important lines that I've learned, which is this idea, if you put your mind to it, you can accomplish anything. And I wanted to ask you what that line means to you now as you sit here today versus what it meant to you when you said it in 1985.
Well, I mean, its biggest role was as part of the narrative of the movie. It was something I thought about, but it was true of everything I'd done. I mean, I left Canada at 15, 16. Dropped out of school at 16, and went down to the States on probable mission, like a fool was there, and yet somehow, after a couple of years of dumpster diving and decking my landlord and hanging out with the Delta fraternity guys on UCLA and stealing all their food and their beer, I survived, and I had family ties. My life changed, and then they had Back to the Future, and my life really changed, and it was all positive thinking in the sense that. I didn't think, if I put my mind to it, I could accomplish anything. I just thought, I'm doing that. I'm getting that. That's going to happen. And it did. But I also was aware of all the ass kickings that I got along the way, all the really tough things. If you're a teenager and you move to Hollywood to be an actor, you're going to have some tough times. It's mine was cautionary tale that didn't have to be cautionary. It worked out.
Last thing I'll ask you is this: there's a beautiful line in the film when you're reading part of your book, and you get to a section about your father, and you go, "Those 3 sentences had 10,000 pounds of stuff in them." And I imagine to myself, when you get to retell your story, there's got to be some catharsis or therapeutic element you get by going through your life. And I was wondering the difference for you and the catharsis you achieved writing a book, but now making a movie.
What's interesting is that with the thing about my father I was doing this voice therapy to try to get myself to be, as you can tell, look like a little mumbly. So I'm trying to overcome that, so it involves screaming, it involves yelling, saying things very loud, doing all this stuff that's kind of unusual. But it brings you to an emotional point where I'm reading this material, like as part of my exercise. It happens to be about my father dying, and like my brain cannot compute too much, so I just shut down. But the whole thing is like it's a little like what you said about if you put your mind to it, you can accomplish anything. His life is full of opportunities, and we misunderstand loss for lack of opportunity, and it's not. Loss provides opportunity, and what we're not sure of and what we're afraid of provides. Like what's more exciting about my life? That I left home as a teenager, became a movie star, and met the most beautiful girl in the world, and married her and had 4 kids.
In sickness and health.
In sickness and health, yeah. She was with me all the way. She still is. But that's not. If you put your mind to it, you can accomplish anything. That's like if you're open to it, life will fill your losses with new perspective, and that helps me as an author and as an actor. I never planned to be an author. I didn't know I could write, and I still don't write at all. I'm very cliche. I didn't like or bad metaphor. I'm all over it. But I can look at those things. I can look them in the eye. I can stay with them and find out the truth that's in there. And in terms of being optimistic about the future, there's only in the movie from my last book, which I'm quite proud of this line, which is with gratitude, optimism is sustainable.
Yeah,
that's what I found.
Well, congratulations to you.
Thank you, sir.
This has been an honor. Thank you so much. Thank you for a lifetime of entertainment and movies.